Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's 7:55, 5 to 8 to be exact, and we're preparing for our first movement snack of the day. Some of you might have already have done a little bit of activity, which of course is all good movement minutes to be had. But here's a few more for you. November Knees continues. We are heading into the last week of November Knees. So hopefully your body, your legs, your knees, your lower body extremities are feeling better, stronger, more effective, more efficient at their job of keeping you on your legs. Right, we've got our first takers coming in, and today it's a horrible day again. It's chucking it down with rain. I've not opened the curtains. That's it. We'll leave it at that for now. Morning, George. Good to have you here. Mrs. P as well. And Francis. Bristol's in. Who else? I can see people are coming in, but I can't see you yet. So carry on slurping if you've got a brew. Yep, wet and windy down in Bristol for you, Francis. Yeah, it was pretty horrible here on Monday all day as well. Let up a bit yesterday. No rain, but yeah, it's back on today. quite dull as well. You know, like your typical wintry, horrible, wet, nasty day. That's what we've got here in the Midlands. Dickinson's are in as well. Morning to you. And Paul, Vivian and Paul there. Yep, dark, wet Wednesday for you. Wind and rain forecast in Cruden Bay. But it's dry and bright for starters, is it? We'll have a starter of dry and bright, please, Bob. Gillian's in as well. Port Talbot has arrived. Sandra's in. Waterlooville has arrived. Good to have you all here, as usual. The day for me, I'll be with you on the 4 p.m. today, and I've got an observation over the other side of Leicester, so North Leicester side, and the children are still in bed and not well. Bob's not going to work again today. We've been hit fairly horribly by this bug that we've all had a dose of. I think I got the lighter version of it, but then gave it to everybody else. So yeah, that's where we are today. There's a red cross on the door, do not enter, for pain of getting the flu kind of symptoms that we've all got. Right, pouring it down outside and windy as well in down south. No rain at the minute for Port Talbot. And yeah, Bedfordshire's got a good dose of wetness as well. Thank you, Gillian with a J. They're improving, but Neve had a couple of days off last week when I wasn't well. She went back to school on Monday, came home, crashed and burnt. So although they might be in a condition to get up and get the bums to school, I'm just going to let it ride today. I'm not fighting it. Right, Christine Rowland's ventured outside to put the recycling out. Very wet morning, not raining just now. Okay, so you just missed. It's been raining, but you've not actually got soaked from nipping out. Right, I think it's about time. Hang on. Last one. Morning, Maya. Right, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Good morning and welcome. Today is a month anniversary, although I haven't any idea how many months we should be celebrating of Make Movement Your Mission. But welcome. It's 8 a.m. It's... Oh, Rommel's not happy. It's Wednesday the 23rd of November 2022. Let me just let him go upstairs. I'll still be grumping away. So, whilst I just let the cat out the bag, Why don't we all sit or stand in good posture? Use of external support, have that in front of you, to the side of you, a wall, something sturdy, a windowsill, anything like that. Back of the settee, worktop if you're in the kitchen. Talking of kitchens, my chair's from the dining room. Yours can be any solid chair, sturdy, lift up tall, have a bit of a hip walk forwards. Hip walk's really functional, really important. So I'll tell you what, we're going to go back and forward once again. And as we do this, stander-uppers, would you like to start with some foot pedals? Here we are, back at the front portion of the chair for seated and in with the foot pedals. Now, we often choose to go socks in the early movement mission. It's up to you what you've got on your feet. But as long as you feel comfortable and secure with what you're standing on and in. Picking up the legs a little bit more then. Let's get the hips and the knees moving into more of a leg march. Just treading up and down on the spot, landing through the toes, the ball, then the heel. And a little bit of a boost with the ball of the foot to help push the knees up as you march there. Adding in extra limbs increases our warm-up potential and capacity. Use your external support to just have one arm in at a time and then swap sides maybe. Now the elbow here, you can see the elbow just coming out behind me here. Pressing the elbow back, opens up the chest and the shoulder, moves from the shoulder more specifically, and it avoids us doing any kind of elbow waggling kind of stuff. There's no shoulder movement at all there, is there? But with a bent elbow, we can achieve so much more there. So your shoulders will be benefiting here. This is a top trio that we're going to go for first, of course, and if the shoulders are warm, they move better. If the shoulders are warm, our neck becomes warmer as well, and everything helps out the next thing. All right, steady yourself down. We'll revisit a bit more circulation booster, but for now, standing tall, still, feet out that little bit wider if you like. Use of external support if you like for a lift and a lower of your shoulders. So shoulder shrugging. Feel your neck lengthening as you press down there. And we'll take about 5 of each of these. Everything that we do up in standing is of course offered in seated as well. Work between standing or seated as you see fit. And let's turn this and progress this into a shoulder roll. So just drawing a circle, up, round, back and down, really opening the posture in that back and down part. If you're holding on to external support, you might need to nudge up a little bit closer, because you'll find that if you're really exaggerating the backwards and down part, your hands might come away from the support. And if you need it, you need it. There might be 1 or 2 clicks and clunks as your body just eases into these moves. Relax there. Okay, let's have a look at our head turns now, which occasionally can make us experience a challenge of the balance or a little bit of disturbance vestibularly. So move slowly, take a pause in the middle and don't move again until you feel comfortable and happy. Or sit down. So have a track over to the one side, head back to the middle, meet me here for a small pause, a bit of a posture check, and then there's one on each side, complete. All we need is one to start. As we move the head, we mobilise the neck, we loosen up some of the muscles around the neck area too. which contributes to our increased ranges. And we're turning the head, the neck, we're moving the arms and shoulders continually throughout our day. If the arms are active, so is the neck, so are the shoulders, as most of the movement will need to come from them. So to have them loose, mobile, feeling good will help us to get through the day. Right, this is my last one. And on the other side, there we have head turns, feeling looser in the neck now. We're going to do some chin tucks to sit the head on top of the neck and shoulders, realign the spine somewhat. So fingertips to guide, eyes focused ahead, and then tucking the chin in. Now this is a good little move to crowbar in if you're driving or in a passenger seat where you've got a support of the headrest behind you. You can use the headrest as a little bit of a reference point, and you can feel how big the gap is to how much we can decrease the gap between the headrest and you. Small and subtle, important and regularly done to maintain good posture position of your head and improve condition of the neck as well. There we go. Second round of circulation boosting. It's the reach and the rowing action to warm up the trunk. Seated or standing, holding on or not holding on. We've got a reach and a row. Elbows straightening out, guiding the elbow down and back, opening up the chest and twisting from the trunk. We get some rotational movement there, which is in your life. Small rotational movements when you're walking. There'll be small rotational movements when you're hip walking even. Now mind about turning over in bed, reaching to put seat belts on, driving and reversing, and actions like that. All right, feeling that warmth just building the trunk should help just loosen everything up and move us a bit better for our side bends. Seated side bends require our hips and our feet to be glued and planted. Arms down by your side, lifting tall, feel high on your sit bones, really lengthening up there and tilting directly to the side. So you're kind of tracking your fingertips down the leg of the chair, whereas those of you in standing will be tracking your fingertips down the leg of you. So just as you tilt and lean, move slowly in, feeling a little bit of a pull down the one side and a collapse down of the other. See if you can keep in the middle of your standing position. So the hips, the legs are paused. And if you can catch yourself in a mirror or your reflection anywhere in glass, just have a look at where, if you can see your shoulders square to the front. So I mean not kind of tipping over or opening back, just straight to the side, square to the front. Last couple should feel a little bit looser. And relax there once you've done even amount of 4 or 5. Trunk twist is where we're going to go next. So main focus here is in standing is to just move the trunk, the top half, and to keep the lower half still. If you find that difficult and you always end up doing something like this, legs are out, weights off the feet, hips are pointing in a direction that's not to the front, then find a little bit of a prop post, a lean against something, and then twist and look. behind you. Back to the middle. Your arms can be freely hanging by the side, out the way, holding on to external support. You can use the hand that's down by your side to kind of lead that opening up action to the side. In seated, of course, it's much easier to keep your hips in that set still position. Comfortable, unforced range is what is more suitable and more comfortable, more safe for the spine. So twisting, reaching, bending, lifting, back extending, all used throughout your day, varying different degrees. You probably don't even notice half the time that your spine is moving in such ways. Relax there. Have a little switch off and a slump in seated if you like. We're going to go the complete opposite to slump now, into back extension, a mobility move, lifting, opening, or better do it at the same time, extending, arching, switching everything back down again. So this is a lift of posture slightly beyond your best posture. So when you're ready, feet out wide, knees are spongy, lift up tall, feel the space here between your chest and your pelvis, lift up and then look forwards and then go backwards slightly. So probably not a massive move, a little bit of bendiness in the spine, a little bit of looseness through each stack and each vertebrae of your spine. If you'd prefer to do something holding on, you could reach up a little bit with your back extension as well. So reach up with the arm and then extend away. So you're still doing that little lift and lean, but the arm is included there, like you do when you perhaps reach upwards for something. One more. Okay, ankles, feet and toes is where we are now. Bit of pedaling maybe to start. Extra pedals through the feet, through the ankles, just to give them a little bit of a boost before we do our pointing and flexing. If you'd like to add some fidgety feet actions in, you should know them by now actually. So lifting the toes, opening and spreading the toes. You can do that 1 foot at a time, seated or standing. Really moving through the toes there, picking them up, opening them out, keeping some good movement there. And some toe crunches, which pull up the arch of your foot. Should get a little bit of a tunnel through your foot there. Have a look at what shape your feet are making. Have a listen to how many toe clicks you get as the joints just pop there. Maybe some toe grips where we spread the toes, grip them into the floor, and you might feel that stimulates the under arch of your foot as well. Do these at any time of the day. Do these toe grips if you're in a balance challenge, practicing your balances, or if you're about to do this move, you might need some toe grips. So one-legged stand, holding on to support with a light toe tap and a light heel dig. Exaggerating ankle movement helps to reduce the stiffness, possibly swelling if you've got some puffiness in your ankles as well. Keeps the joints movable so that when you're travelling over uneven surfaces, you've got that adjustability in the ankles as well. Toes and heels in seated as well. And the last offer of a ankle movement, and you might not do this now, you might do this a little bit later when you sat on the sofa. You sat on round the table, you've just had a coffee whilst you've been out and about, and you need to be getting up to be moving again. Put in a little bit of this prep work in, just switches the legs on, and you could of course do a few foot pedals underneath the table as well, just to boost your circulation before you get up to walk. Okay, right, there we have your 8 AM daily dose. Right, there we have. I've got a few messages to have a look at. Oh, George has slept funny. It's not that funny though, is it, when your neck's a bit, ouch. Morning, Sue. Sue's got poor signal in Dartmouth. Signal strength. Poor signal strength in Dartmouth. Dawn's in as well. Right, everybody. You might need a smidge further of decrumpling. So take your pick of any of those. Maybe give them another round. If that's all right for you for now, Bex will be with you at 12 noon. And then I'll be back with you at 4 PM. Got to do my homework first, so see what Bex has done so far with you. Right, enjoy your morning. Go off, have a cup of tea or coffee, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-ra!